All right, so today we're trying to solve a unique challenge that kind of came up as we were going through the process of this. We want to move into insulation, but we were realizing that we're going to be insulating the window cavities. A lot of the Transit Connect models have, either both or either both this one and the back window area. A lot of them have like a panel there so that you can't see in. But ours has windows on both of those. So we have two windows there. Some people will go ahead and leave the windows and they'll make these little window coverings that they can take on and off. But we're gonna do some full-on insulation in there because those windows are really a place where a lot of heat escapes and a lot of heat comes in as well. So we want to do a full insulation there. But what we realize is if we're just putting up insulation in the windows, you're going to be able to see that from the outside, and we didn't want that. We want it to be a little bit more stealth than that. Sadie's in there right now. We didn't want to just have this look of a van and then you just see this insulation there. Or if there's reflectics or something like that in there, you can see that. The windows are pretty tinted, but they're not tinted enough that if you put something right up to it or if there's light shining, if you have the back door open, that you won't be able to see that. So what I'm going to do is use something that I found in one video. I hadn't seen a lot of solutions for this outside of getting either tinting them all the way limo or doing like an actual covering over it, something like that. But all those things were going to cost a little bit more than what we wanted to. We'd much rather spend money on other parts of the build. So I went to Home Depot with the kids and we grabbed some Plasti Dip, and I don't have a can of it right here, but I will go grab one. All right, so grab a can, Plasti Dip. Oh, so Plasti Dip. I did see one video that they utilized this on the inside of their windows, and then as I did more research, I found some people that did it on the outside to give it more of a flat look, and it looked really cool. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna test out one window. I have, from the videos that I've seen, you need to do multiple layers of this because it goes on thin and then you just kind of layer on top of layer. Cool part about this is after it's all dried up, you can always peel it off. So it'll just come on and off. So I'm not too worried about, permanently ruining anything, because if I don't like it, if it doesn't look good, we can always pull it off. You want to get out? Okay. Okay. Yep, that works. So that's what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put this Plasti Dip on one of the windows, and then we want to see what it looks like from the outside, see if that solves the problem. All right, so this is the window that I'm going to test it out on, just because you can really see through this from the outside. You can see all those wires and stuff like that. So obviously if there's light in the van, you're going to be able to see through that window. So that's the one I'm going to test first and see how it goes. All right, so in the van now, this is the window I'm going to do here. First thing the can says is to make sure you have a clean, dry surface. This window is not very clean, so I'm going to clean it. And actually, right now it's 15 degrees outside, or it feels like 15 degrees outside here in Minnesota. So my window cleaner actually froze on the window and pulled a bunch of paper towel off. So I'm gonna go get my heat gun that I just got, and I'm gonna warm up the window a little bit so that I can get it really clean. So we'll see how that works out with the Plasti Dip. It doesn't say anything on the can that I can see about conditions of applying outside of having a ventilated area. So we'll see if that cold stops it from getting on. So we'll just have to see. All right, so the window's finally clean. So now what I want to do is just get some, I want to kind of tape up a little bit on the outside here just to keep it off of this, even though most of it will be covered, so I'm not too concerned about if I get a little bit on it. But it doesn't hurt to just tape it up a little bit. Depending on if you do this, your application, you might need to do that. So I just got some old paper and some painter's tape. I'm going to tape it up. All right, so that's all taped up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do, it says on here to do a thin layer first and then to kind of lay a coat for the rest of it to go on. So right now, and then there's 30 minutes between each coat. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and do that first coat. And again, it doesn't really say anything about temperature on here, so I'm hoping that it doesn't matter that it's pretty cold out today, but I guess we'll find out. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see it. Probably can't see it. That was just a quick call. Oh yeah, you can see it. So it's really starting to drip down. I was probably a little bit too close on this first coat here. So or it could just be because of the cold. So we'll see how this kind of dries up and how the subsequent layers go. From what I was looking at, it might take about 5 layers, or between 4 and 5 layers. To get it really where you want it. So we'll see how this dries up. Let's see, we'll wait about 30 minutes. Maybe it'll take longer because it's cold. So we'll come check back on it in about 30 minutes. All right, so that first coat didn't go on so hot. And so what we're gonna do, we brought the van, we shut the van garage door, and I got a torpedo heater down here. We're gonna try to warm it up. I'm thinking it might just be too cold on the window to apply. So either way, we're going to try it again once it warms up a little bit, do a second coat. I'm also going to have Sabina come out. She's more of a painting master than I am, so we're going to have her give it a shot here as well. So on the inside of the van where we actually sprayed it, it's starting to look really nice. But when we came out and looked at it from the outside, looks really bad. So what we're going to do, and you can see it here, is I taped up the outside, and we're actually going to apply this to the outside of the windows. That way we get the crappier looking side on the inside, and we can always cover that up with something. A window cover, or in this case on this window, this is going to be where the cabinet is, so you won't even be able to see it, but we'll have that nice flat black on the outside. And because it's plastic, weather resistant, all that good stuff, in theory, I think it should be okay to weather whatever we're going through. It's not going to crack and things like that. So we're going to try this on the outside of the window and see if that goes a little bit better.
That first coat on that window done about 20 minutes ago or so, and it's looking really good. It has more of a matte finish to it. You can't see any of the drippy spots like you could on the outside when we painted the inside. And compared to like an actual glass window, it looks like it has a matte coat finish on it, and it's nice and non-streaky looking. So I'm just going to go start adding a second coat to it right now.
All right, so we finished up the Plasti Dip on the outside of the rear windows as kind of our litmus test, or our kind of our test run here to see how this would look. Actually super happy with how it turned out. I think it looks super slick. It's got this matte black look on it. You can't see through it. You can shine a flashlight inside, can't see through it. It's basically a plastic covering over this. if we end up wanting to go a different route, we can peel it off as well. But I think it's super solid right here. It looks really nice. Looks the same on the other side. We did have some issues with the Plasti Dip can. There was once where Sabina was spraying and all of a sudden the can just started leaking out Plasti Dip. It's all over the floor here. It was all over her hands. Thank God it's a pretty easy cleanup considering it's plastic. We just got to kind of scrape it off. But there are a few little dots on the windows, a few spots from where the paint can kind of sputtered. But we're gonna go ahead and do this on the other two, the front windows and the rear windows. So we might have to make another run to Home Depot to grab a few more cans of that. But super happy with how that turned out so far. All right, so I figured I'd give you a little update on the Plasti Dip. So Sabina was able to finish all of the windows, and they turned out super awesome. So Sabina rocks and rolls. But so I'm going to show you the how that turned out here in a second. But after we finished all that, installed the fan, we wanted to kind of weather test it, and we saw a stretch that there were 4 days or 3 days where it was just going to rain, snow all day long for that whole stretch. So like, let's get it out in the driveway, and let's see if water comes in, if the Plasti Dip doesn't hold up. So this was a good first test. So I'll show you where the Plasti Dip is at right now. So it looks super slick. It's got this flat look to it. And it just turned out really cool. So you can see all the way around. Not a chance you'll be able to peek in to the van while we are in there sleeping. You're not going to see any light kind of shining out through there. So we'll be super stealth in there. If I open up the back door, you can see it is bone dry in here. So the fan is not leaking, which is sweet. All right. So that wraps up that project and a little bit of an update on that. If you enjoyed this video or if you found it helpful in any way, give it a like down at the bottom. And if you want to continue to see updates on our project as we go, we're kind of updating these as we go along, giving some nice how-tos for those of you that are just starting out in this. That's kind of what we're doing, is creating a resource that's helpful to others who are just starting out. Create the resource that we wish that we had going into this, because there's a lot of information out there that you gotta weed through. Some of it's all crap, some of it's really good. So we want to help make the resource that we wish we had. So if you like it, subscribe to us. We're gonna keep putting videos out on the camper van build until it's over. So thanks again for watching, and hope you have a great one.